Andrea Ainsworth. I have family still in Scientology, which is very frustrating for me at times. I can't wait until they're out, but their arrogance, certainty, stubbornness, and inability to listen make me think they may never get out. Even after 20 years, the alternate route to clear, superpower processing, and large donations, my dad is not clear. What could be the reason for this? Also, I asked him if he got to the top of the bridge and didn't have superpowers and all the things promised, would he then look at the other side? His response was, I've gotten enough out of it already to still be worth it. Obviously, it is life-changing for some people, so what is it that actually works? I know you say that you can find the parts that work elsewhere in the world. I'm wondering if you intend to sort through the mix of truth and lies within Scientology technology and share with us in the form of a book/books. Also, I know for me, it wasn't really the processing that made me feel any better, but just the thought that I had the right path and future access to powerful truth that would change me and the world for the better. How much of the improvement in people is due to processing, and how much do you think is just the high from believing you have the answer to life and are working on getting to ultimate freedom, etc.? Thanks for the question, Andrea. It's a really good one, and there's a lot here. So first off, let me just say that in regards to your family who are still in Scientology, the way you talk to them, or the way you should go about finding out from them what the deal is to ask them politely, in a sort of a non-confrontational manner, what do you get out of this? Why are you still doing it after all these years when you're, have not achieved the state of clear or OT or whatever, and try not to be challenging, but just really receptive. What's the deal? Tell me what the deal is, right? And get them to tell you. Because the deal is that everybody is involved in Scientology or any other destructive cult or any activity for that matter for their own reasons, their own individual reasons. It's not a Scientology offers a series of methods that are kind of one size fits all, but everybody's reasons for being there are different and unique to them. So you have to kind of solicit that information from them, and that should potentially give you information, ammunition, you could consider it, to then feed back to okay, well, not necessarily in that conversation, although it could happen there, but, somehow, why are they doing it? What is it that's hooked them into it? And then you could use that to more specifically maybe attack, very subtly, I use the word attack, and I don't mean like, but, to go back in on the person and deal with what could get them out of it, right? That information would be valuable in that regard. So that's how I would tackle that, because I can't tell you why it is that your dad is still involved in Scientology. I got no idea. But whatever it is, there's something he thinks he's going to continue to get out of it. And the point you made in your question was great, because it very well could be that the promise or the hope of this advanced spiritual enlightenment and personal spiritual immortality that are promised by Scientology, just the idea of that could be enough to keep someone going. Whether they're experiencing every session as some big, huge gain or not for them, and odds are they aren't. Odds are sessions are, okay, I feel a little better. Maybe sometimes, wow, that was really interesting. They do the auditing session and they're like, oh, wow, I didn't realize that before. And then, 2 days later, they can't even remember it. They feel better. They know they feel a little better. And it just goes in and out, and that's kind of how the auditing works. And so the thing that keeps them going to it is not that their last session was so great they can't wait to have another one. Sometimes that happens, but more often it's, this is what I need to be doing in order to eventually get to this big prize I'm going to get. And if I leave and I stop doing this, then I'm never going to get there. And that itself is a huge reason for people to stay with a thing, and a good reason why people stay with things that don't seem to be providing them any help or support or seem to be accomplishing their goals is, yeah, but if I just stick with it, I'll get there, and they'll put up with a lot of nonsense and a lot of grief because they think that eventually they'll be getting to this wonderful place, you know. And Scientology is far from the only example of that. So I hope that might help give you some ideas of what to do to maybe push the ball down the road a little bit to getting them out. But it's an individual conversation with each and every family member. You can't do this in a group situation. You can't sit them all down and go, okay, everybody, tell me why you got in, and then I'm gonna like deal with that and convince you to get out of it. No, don't. It's not like that, right? It's much more subtle, much more time-consuming to deal with people's reasons for being stuck into Scientology. And it's not because, just to be clear for anybody who might not have listened to everything I've said about this in the past, it's not getting them out of Scientology just for the sake of getting them out of Scientology, or just because you happen to disagree with their belief system. You want to get people out of Scientology and out of any other destructive cult situation because it's destructive. There are so many lies told. There are so many misconceptions they have as Scientologists about what they're doing. And they're being taken advantage of in terms of their contribution of time and money, especially money. And you want to get somebody out of that situation because they're being taken advantage of, not because you happen to not believe in Xenu and they do, or whatever, right? I mean, that's not the situation, Andrea, with your dad, because he's not even clear. But that's the compelling reason to want to do something about it. And I just want to be clear about that, because I don't want to have any misconceptions or misideas about why I am such an advocate for getting people out of that situation. It's not because I'm trying to say that they don't have a right to think the way they want to or believe what they want to. It's because they're in a situation where they're being at a severe disadvantage. They do not have fully informed consent as to what's going on, right? And they are being taken for a ride in terms of the financial contributions. So that all being said, I hope that answer helps you with your question.